It doesn't seem to. My goodness. We are ready, aren't we, for the triumphal entry?
Yes, we are. And this is Mark 11 and the triumph entry of Jesus.
All right. Now, when they drew near Jerusalem to Bethphage, and Bethany at the Mount of Olives, he sent two of his disciples, and he said to them, "Go into the village opposite you, and as soon as you have entered it, you will find a colt tied, and no one has sat. Loose
On,
it, bring it." So like nobody's watching it.
on which no one has sat. No, as in it hasn't been
Nobody's on
rode.
it.
Right. But I think it's also no one has rode it. Like you break a horse in, like it's never been rode before, like a horse.
So it's
Like,
called a colt.
so I think, well, I don't know that just because it's called a colt, but I don't know if like with horses that you break them in so they let people, like train them. But I
Right.
don't think that that's the colt is a combination. Let me see what a colt is so I don't mislead you. A colt, a young uncastrated male horse, in particular one less than 4 years. So
So
a young horse.
a young breeder boy.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes. So
And if anyone says to you, "Why are you doing this?"
yes.
What are you gonna say? What would you say?
What would I say? Jesus told me.
Hey, why are you taking this
No,
boys?
what does Jesus says? Hmm,
And he said, "The Lord has need of it, and immediately he will send it
yeah.
here to the
Wow.
Lord."
Hmm? So that's like he just says it like it's gonna be. And the disciples just go, right?
Right.
Which is really cool. Like the instructions are really clear. And there's so much. If I was concise like that in my sentence, like he said so much in the two sentences. It's cold. First time
You're-
sitting on it. Loose it, bring it to me. If anyone asks you, just tell them the Lord needs of it, and immediately he will send it.
And it will be done. And they
Yes,
took it. So they went their way. They
yes,
said, "That's a good plan."
right, exactly. So verse 4, exactly. They obeyed.
And they found the colt tied by the door outside on the street, and they loosed it. But some of those who stood there said to them, "What are you doing, loosing the colt?" And they spoke to them just as Jesus had commanded, and they let them go.
So perfect.
They said, "These guys are insane."
And they obeyed, right? They obeyed. And them two disciples were, it doesn't say which two, but how much have they already seen, right? They've seen so much, feeding thousands, miracles. So if Jesus tells them go,
Right.
they just do it. And
I mean, just
if
know
these
it's not Simon, right?
because
Because we would have known.
he would have asked too many questions before he went.
Right.
Except when he was in the boat, he didn't. So we don't really know it's not Peter, but we're thinking. And hopefully we could be like that. Like we know that Jesus told us something and we can just go do it.
Don't do it. Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid. Exactly.
Then they brought the colt to Jesus and threw their clothes on it and sat on it. Naked?
And he said, no, no. Read that again.
Oh, I read it.
They threw their clothes. Well, they don't mean like they took off their clothes,
They
like
just
they're
threw their
probably
belongings.
their outside robe, like your blanket or your sweater, maybe, but not your. And Jesus sat on it, right?
And many spread their clothes on the road.
Yes.
Naked people did. And others cut down leafy branches from the trees and spread them on the road.
They were like, I'm not taking off my clothes. I'm going to get leaked. Just,
Right. And I don't know. Who knows?
I mean, if you look at it with how you just explained it, it does look quite funny, but I think that they did have other clothes on.
Well, I'm trying to like maybe somebody was like, "Hey, people are gonna be walking on this. Are we gonna use these clothes again? Or are we just gonna throw them out afterwards? Maybe we should throw some leaves over them." But
I know.
right. Um, where were we?
Exactly. And is this the first time they've done something like this, or is this like a normal thing they do when somebody famous?
When somebody shows up. This is the red carpet,
The
correct?
red carpet, exactly. That's what I was wondering.
This would be
Yes.
the green carpet in this case.
Maybe
And
someone one day threw down all red clothes and they're like, oh, let's just make it into a carpet. And
could be. Mm. Then those who went before and those who followed cried out, saying,
Hosanna,
Hosanna!
Hosanna.
Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the kingdom of our father David that comes in the name of the Lord. Hosanna in the highest.
Hosanna in the highest.
And Jesus went into Jerusalem and into the temple. So when he had looked around at all things, as the hour was already late, he went out to Bethany with the 12.
Hmm.
What does that mean?
I think it's just explaining what he did. So,
So he just went in the temple, looked around, and left.
yeah, so when he went into Jerusalem, into temple, and when he had looked around at all things, so he's checking it out, right? But
Okay.
it's late. So he went out to Bethany because then they're going to have to rest for the night, I think. I
Right.
think that's implying. So we
Okay.
don't know what he was thinking or think only that he went into the temple to check. And then we have to wait till verse 12 to see what happens the next day.
Because right, yeah, it just shows we didn't see any
And that could be. And sometimes you
yeah,
go to do something and you can stay like in a hotel the night and you're working on a project or something. You
right.
might go check it out really quick, but you don't have much time and then you need rest.
And there was no evaluation.
There's no valuation, right? But it's kind of nice to know what you're dealing with and then you can sleep on it.
Right.
Talk to God
Wow.
about it. In his case, talk to his dad
And find some peace.
and find some peace.